So, the Snyder Cut is finally here. But there's one thing that's on my mind. Was it really worth it? What's up, guys? Jiggy here with an Eggplants opinion, and today we're going to be diving into the Justice League Snyder Cut. And I know what you're already thinking, but Jiggy, of course it was. It's so much better than the Joss Whedon fecal matter that we got in 2017. And that is true. It is 100 times better than what Joss Whedon gave us in 2017. And in case any of you actually forgot what Joss Whedon gave us, let's break it down, shall we? Joss Whedon's film was, in a word, terrible. The only good bits in it were, in fact, as a lot of people assumed and guessed, Snyder's cuts. But even then, they were dulled down. The story was pointless, the characters felt tagged on, the villain was as intimidating as a fart in the wind, no hint of his master Darkseid, even the way he apparently dies at the end was ridiculous. Flash, who in my opinion was the weakest of the heroes in the first outing, has finally been given some justice, although I still can't get on board with the way he runs, it just looks weird. But I digress. Let me explain why I feel like this film wasn't really worth it, and more importantly, why we should have got it in the first place. Now, with regards to what we should have got, it stems back even further, and I believe other people feel the same way. DC have royally sharted all over their films, and the arcs introduced. The first film, Man of Steel, and I'll probably get criticised for this, but that was a fantastic film. Yeah, it had some bad moments like, would Superman really let his dad die like that? And maybe they could have hinted at Superman trying not to destroy every building he touches. But on the other side of that, he was fighting someone who was his equal, or maybe even stronger. Zod had the battle experience, and adapted quickly. The only thing that gave Superman the edge was his understanding of his powers, and the years it took to master the flaws that came with them. Oh, but Jiggy, Superman doesn't kill people. Really? So he was just going to lock him up, slap some cuffs on him and call it a day? The guy was a murderer. Granted, he had purpose, which again is what made Zod great, but he was going to kill billions to bring about the second coming of his people. He was aiming his laser eyes at a defenseless family. Superman didn't want to kill him, clearly. He had no choice. Oh, but Jiggy, there is always a choice. Yeah, and he chose wisely in my opinion. I mean, put your family in that scenario. They're staring into the abyss that is their death by the hands of Zod. I mean, do you want Superman to wait for a convenient MacGuffin to just fall on his lap? Anyway, that for me is the start of the downfall for DC right there. They should have had a Man of Steel 2, with a hint or a cameo of Batman, maybe just Wayne Enterprises on the side of a building to get people hyped up, like they did for LexCorp on the side of that lorry. They could have had Batman vs Superman, or even a Batman standalone film before that. Hell, every Justice League member, with exception of Cyborg, as he is the main part of the story in the Snyder Cut in my opinion, should have had a standalone movie first. What were they scared of? Were they scared of copying Marvel? Because they've both been subtly copying each other for years. You've got the Avengers, Justice League, Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson, X-Men, Doom Patrol. Just Google the slogan for those two teams and you'll see what I mean. The thing is, if they did what Marvel had done, they would have easily succeeded. And that's the sad part about it. It's 2021 now, so my timeline would have been Man of Steel 1, 2, potential Batman movie, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Batman vs Superman, but without the Doomsday, I'll get to that in a minute, then the Justice League. No death of Superman yet. And here's why. Steppenwolf is fantastic in this. He's a great plot device for the big bad that is Darkseid. You could have had the same Snyder Cut ending play out in the movie. Steppenwolf retrieves the mother boxes and Darkseid is about to come out the boom tube, but then they do exactly what they did. They defeat Steppenwolf and throw him back to him just as the boom tube is about to dissipate. Then we would have DC's version of Marvel's Phase 2. You bring in Shazam and other characters like Martian Manhunter. I felt like he was a bit too tacked on this film. Green Lantern, the Jon Stewart one. Sorry, but he is my favourite Green Lantern. For the simple fact I grew up on the animated cartoons, so he is definitely in. Then after that, you could have it Darkseid, seeing the miscalculation of his ways, decides to send Doomsday to take out the one thing that is going to stop him, Superman. I mean, if they've done it countless times before, why not do it again, but on real life? That would be an epic battle. Doomsday and Superman would battle it out, and then Doomsday would kill Superman, but then he doesn't kill Superman, if you know what I mean. And that leaves the Earth open for attack. It would shatter the Earth's heroes, particularly these newcomers, like Shazam and Green Lantern. They would think they'd failed to live up to Superman's expectations. You have all these new people that try to fill the void that Superman has left, and when Darkseid returns, that's when you bring back Superman. After that, you can get technical, like even more, like Phase 3. You could have like Brainiac come in. I mean, Brainiac was a fantastic Superman villain. You could have Lex Luthor come in, have it more like personal, one-on-one. You're using the genius that is Lex Luthor's mind versus the brute strength and the heroics of Superman. That would be an epic battle. Or even better, you could focus on some of the other big players that have just been introduced, like Shazam, Green Lantern. You could explore the Green Lantern Corps. I mean, you could literally just destroy the abysmal state that was that 2011 Green Lantern film, and have someone else like Jon Stewart come in. That would be epic. Or even go down the speedster route, just choose Flash and have one of his story arcs as the main point, like Flashpoint. I mean, I think they're going to be doing that, but it's such a great story. Just lead with that. The one thing that annoys me about the film is at the end, I mean, this is a spoiler. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but Flash does something and you think, okay, you've done that, but then are you going to use that again and again and again in a film? I mean, you can't rely on that. That can't be the only MacGuffin that we have here. These ideas would have been fantastic, and I could have said wholeheartedly, yes, the Snyder Cut was worth it. But from what I've heard, they're still using the 2017 movie as main canon, which is mind-boggling when you take into account how this film is 100 times better. That, for me, makes it not worth it. Why? Because we didn't get a win, in my opinion. We got what could have been. We have had other films put after this. Aquaman, great film. Shazam, great film. Then you have the new Wonder Woman film, which according to the masses is a pile of excrement, which sadly I'll have to watch and give an opinion on. I've got to confirm it if it's true or not what they're saying, but I'm pretty sure it is. So marks out of 10 for this Snyder Cut. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. The reason why, there are a few issues. I mean, the CGI does play up from time to time. It's not as polished as I would like it to be. And there are moments what really take you out of the film. I mean, I love and hate Snyder's directorial skills. There's moments where like Wonder Woman staring right across the camera, looking, and you can actually see it in the actress's eyes. She's like, cut, but she's and her face changes to the point where that should have cut a while ago. Then you've got them women singing to Aquaman, and it cuts away from him in the sea, and they're singing. Then it cuts back to him. He's gone. It's like, girls, he's gone. You can stop singing now. And then she sniffs his sweater. Like, what would that? I mean, alright, girls, I know it's Jason Momoa, but Jesus Christ, he just threw it on the floor. What are you doing? What are you doing? Regarding Zack Snyder as well, and this is going to be a more personal level, I'm really sorry for what happened, and I'm sorry for his loss. It did affect the production of the film, but why did they rip apart his work, especially at a time of sadness in his life? You should have kept his vision alive. You should have told him, Zack, go do your personal stuff. We have got this covered. But you didn't. Instead, you got Josh Whedon's grubby little mitts all over it, and we got a wet fart to the face. Please, Warner Brothers, sort your shit out. Because if you don't, the MCU will leave the DCU in the ICU. So what are your thoughts on the film? Let me know down in the comments below, even if you disagree with me. It'll be great to debate this stuff with people, and just, see other people's side. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and always remember, if you don't like my take on the Snyder Cut, it's just an Eggplant's opinion. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.